Hello everybody, welcome back to the Midlands Outdoors channel today. Back with another video. I walked to Waseley Hills. Beautiful morning. Just pan around to show you. Look at the view of this. Walking across the fields to go all the way to Waseley Hills. I've just done the hardest part, which was walking from Romsley up the steep incline from Halsering. So I do feel I'm kind of a bit knackered. So I will have a bit of a rest when I get there on a bench somewhere, have my dinner, a bit of breakfast and stuff. But beautiful. I just love walks like this in the countryside because you've got all the vast open land, fields. It's just beautiful, and panning back down that way, look at that. It's really cool. And I could just hear much wildlife, listen to the sounds. There's so much bird life, especially in the far distances. I just heard quite a bit of birds over that way. Beautiful. So basically I think this walk consists of keep walking straight in the line, past Dayhouse Farm Fisheries, down like a little road. I think it does go under the motorway, I could be right, but I was looking on Google Maps, the motorway runs next to it. Then under there, then past straight to Waseley Hills. But it's beautiful in the sunshine, I tell you what. It was only 2 degrees when I come out, I had gloves on. You see I'm just wrapped up, got this coat on, got a little fleece under here, and it's gone absolutely warmer. I picked the right day for this really because there is no wind. But just listen to the wildlife as I'm going past. It's just so cool to hear the wildlife in a vast open place like this. Got a woodland on the corner. I think that's the back of Pennyfields Woodland. And that is actually where the German plane crashed in World War II. It's peaceful as well, that's what I love about it. So right, I'm nearly there. I've only got like a short walk to get to the other road part, what then leads all the way to Waseley. But look at the view, just right in front of me. Absolutely nice view, look at that. You can see right there in the distance, very misty morning over the Halsering and parts of the Black countryside. I can just see the mist over there lurking very faintly. So here we go, you can just see the motorway. Right around the dip down there is the motorway somewhere. I think it's just right the way in front. So we've got to get off here. Oh, it's actually the Monarch's Way. Oh, cool. So we was on the Monarch's Way path. So it is telling us that it's going all the way down there and carrying on that way. But it's going journey down. I'm guessing this is going to be a busy road now. Oh, let's get all the way over. Oh, I hate these styles. This is a really tall up one. There we go, just made it. Oh. Go and walk down the road. So right, I've just noticed something very cool. Just right out there is a very, very old telegraph pole. Many of the older people may remember them like that. I know the train lines used to have 3 of them. 1, 2, 3 on the train ones, but that's an old one. There is one of those actually down by Drew's Holloway, by the pub at the bottom. Is actually one of those, and they're dating quite old. Most of the modern ones are just a tall up one, like that one in the corner, what I'm looking at right now, just over to there. That's more of the modern ones. That is actually an old one. Interesting that, I thought I might have mentioned that to you guys in case you was actually interested into it. So here we are, we're coming over the motorway now. I thought we go under it, but we're actually going over it. There we go, the noise will get very busy now as I walk over it. There we go. There's the motorway from this section. Look at that, very busy this morning. All the way down. And all up there. I'm guessing all this over the back here now is the Waseley Hills. So basically we've made it now to Waseley. It's off the section from Romsley now. Here we are. It's off Chapman's Hill. I think that needs a new sign. It's coming off. It's right around here now. I've just noticed it. Let's cross over. There it is. Waseley Hills Country Park. There's a sign for it. Right the way over there. And it is saying the Monarch's Way path is still leading this way. So here we are, Waseley Hills, Worcestershire County Council. Can't believe we made this actually all the way from Owen. That is quite mad how far I've even walked so far, and I've got to walk even further around this. So drop a like for this video for me doing that. Let's go and show you around this place. I've been waiting quite a while to come round the Waseley Hills. This is the first time I've even walked this far to it. Right, I'm guessing this is the car park onto the corner. So it's making me wonder which way we've actually got to go. I'm just going to walk straight through to this section. There is a cafe on here. So you can come down to Waseley Hills, park your car, go and have a coffee in the cafe and then go for your walk. It is really cool doing it that way. I might go and have a coffee, you never know. And here's the board for the Waseley Hills Country Park. It does tell you quite a bit of information onto it. So you've got your woodland, your beech trees all on there, planted in the 1990s. It says there, Sedgeburn coppice. Quite cool, there you go, look. And it's got all your grassland, your cattle. You do get quite a lot of wildlife over the Waseley Hills. Just looking onto that corner, rabbits, quite a lot of other birds onto there, bluebells in the early in this year and cool summer in the woodlands. But look how big it is. I want to try and get to there, which is the toposcope. As you may have mentioned in my Exploring the Black Country videos, I showed you the toposcope up Baggeridge. On this corner here, it looks a very nice view. Look at the picture. Look at that, how it goes down into that little valley. Circular walks, history. I'll tell you a bit of history later. And the Illy Way, it says there, picture on there, Lennyfields Woodlands, that's where the Illy Way is. Let's go and journey up to the Waseley Hills and go and check it out. Quite a big place. I mean, just looking at the views in front, there's a lot of different areas you can walk up to it. It says there, North Worcestershire Path, Skylark and Rabbit Trails, and the source of the River Ree. Let's go and take a look at the River Ree onto that corner. I have no idea where the toposcope is. We'll still have to go and find it. But it does say there, the Waseley Hills Circular Trails. It says there, Skylark Trail leads you around the highest point in the hills, superb views. So I'm guessing that is actually this way, of the Black Country. I might actually go this way. Let's go and check this way out. I might go and show you the River Ree a bit later on. The River Ree might join us up a bit later. I don't know where it runs onto the Waseley Hills. But look at the view of that. Beautiful, the sun just down by the pylons right around the corner. Beautiful. So right, just walking a bit further up, there's a sign here. There's the North Worcestershire Path on that corner. And once more leading under the pylon from that section down there. Still saying that we need to keep going straight in front, Skylark and Rabbit Trails. Right the way this way. Ooh. I tell you what, I've literally had enough of hills today. I think that incline up Romsley is really knacking me out badly. But the views are becoming better as they're getting higher up. So here we are. Way down, further and further in the distance I can count numerous pylons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and it goes misty. And it goes right misty right around the distance down that dip. You can see all the mist lurking, all the hills right around the distance. Mist over there. I'm going to get my camera out in a bit and have a zoom in. Romsley, just right around that corner, look. Got Romsley over there. Got the Black Country. Further at the back I can see Owen, Turner's Hill. The views are pretty good, but they're not as great as what I expected of the Black Country area, because I think Romsley's much blocking it out on this corner. So I'm guessing there might be another viewpoint if it says there's perfect views over there. But I can just see some small areas. I'm guessing Cradley right the way down, I dip lie, and you would have Stourbridge behind there somewhere. But nice view though, it is nice to see it from this angle. But look at that, even further down there, can just see West Bromwich, and that's about it. And then the views in the distance are completely hazed out. You need to really come here on a clear day really, when you've got no mist. The weather forecast is brilliant, so it is the best time to come over and check the views out. But one more look around just to show you the view down here with the pylons on. Look at that. Let me get my camera, I will zoom in and show you what I was on about, how many pylons there is actually down there. So let's just have a quick zoom in. That zooming right the way in. I mean, you could just see the mist right around the distance, what I was on about. Look at that. But like I mentioned, you can just see no end of pylons lurking right the way into the mist, look. So going straight, then bending all the way around. It's really impressive from a range, that is, from far in the distance. And that's what I was saying, even 60 times zoom, it's as good as a top range camera for zooming in really far. Let's go and take a look at the Black Country area. Let's zoom in. There's Halzoing right around the dip. I do need a tripod to this, it's hard to hold it steady. There's the flats in Halzoing. Much of the distance over the backs, looking up right over there. Got Dudley somewhere in the distance, got the church hidden by the mist. Looking back, there's, I'm guessing, look at those flats in the distance. Trying to think what it is. And back end over that way. Making me wonder, it's definitely not Brawley Hill over there. Looking down, back this way, you got Turner's Hill, panning this way, Coombs Wood at the bottom, then Turner's Hill right about there. There's Turner's Hill. It is really cool that seeing the views right around the distance. I mean, this camera is so impressive, and it's lightweight. That's the one reason why I brought this, so you don't really have to keep holding it all the time. Like with like a tripod, you can just handle it, zoom in, get your close shots. For long range you do need a tripod, but for close ones it's really perfect. Lightweight, I can just hold it with one hand. It's just so cool, and it's 4K. And the features on it are like what you get on a top range one. You got your light mount right around top, and you pay £200 for it. It's definitely worth the investment. And for the zoom, perfect for your wildlife watchers, and especially the people watching my channel who decide to get a decent camera. Start off with a Lumix Panasonic FZ82, I think it's called. You will find it on there. It's a 60 times zoom one. Got a nice little bench here. It says there, in memory of Thomas Miles, 1975 till 2005. But look at the view from this bench. You've just really got the angle from here, sitting down, having a nice relaxing afternoon. It is better if you can come up in car and not do what I've done, because then you got to keep taking breaks. It's just nice to go and check out the whole of it. So we'll check out as much as we can. I've just noticed something really cool in the distance. I'll have a zoom in and check that bit out in a minute. Let's zoom right the way back in. I've just noticed this right the way over there. Look at that, look how cool that is. It's like a castellated house. Wow. Really cool architecture. It's spotting my eye in the distance by the trees. I just noticed that. I mean, the colour caught my eye. Really cool that one is. Here we are, this is that view that I wanted to show you. Just sitting right away on here, panning down. You can just see the valley, what goes down on the Waseley Hills. Like there was a photo at the start of the car park what showed you this. Absolutely really beautiful how it goes down. And then once more you've got all the views overlooking that way. Parts of Worcestershire over the back. Really beautiful views. But that valley though, we could sit here for hours and just watch that. Notice as well, it's very muddy on here. Let's get over this gate. But the views from this section now are so stunning. I mean, I could have come up on my bike, it would have been more easy to get back. Might think about that in the future. I might ask Jules to come in, might come on electric bikes up this way. But just onto the corner, you can just see further back. I can't wait to see this from this angle. This is so cool. This is better than Clent Hills because you can just see and Franklin Beaches because you've got more of the 360 view, and that's what a toposcope is. It tells you much of the areas, what you can see in the distances, like the 360 views, panning right the way around over that way, back through the Black Country area, now overlooking this side now of the Lickett Hills. I'm going to go and visit the Lickett Hills soon, hopefully, so that is actually another planned video. So here we are, this is the toposcope that I wanted to show you. You can just see there is several features onto the toposcope. It tells you all down onto here all the different things, what you can see. Aberley Hill, situated from that corner right the way over there, somewhere at the back. But what I'm interested in is over there, you've got Coventry Churches, 22 miles, 35 kilometres. Somewhere the distance over there, that is actually where that is situated. Looking there, Rubery Hospital, somewhere down the back on the bottom. Somewhere down there, what I'm looking at right now. Looking across, we've got even more. Franklin Beaches, just lined up perfect on the toposcope, looking right at it. Over there, there's Franklin Beaches. It says there's a post office somewhere on here, post office tower. Post office tower in Birmingham. I'll have a look at that in a minute. Panning round, I'm interested in the Black Country areas. Dudley Castle, 9 miles. Dudley Castle's over there, but the mist is actually phasing it out a little bit right away in the distance, so I'll have a look at that. Brawley Hill, can just see Brawley Hill Flats over the distance over that way. Brawley Hill Flats, I'm just lurking. Got there Clent Hills. Clent Hills is over there, can you see the Nimmins just peeking right the way out. That's over the distance over that way. Looking there, I'm guessing that's Wales. There's bits and pieces of Wales in the distance, but I can't see it. So you can just see, really interesting, these telescopes. And this one here says 1978. There usually is a date onto the corner around these somewhere. I can't really see the date for it, but let's do a bit of camera work from this angle. So I just want to tell you a bit of information about this place, which is really interesting. So it just says there, for many people who want to know a bit of information, there isn't much history behind it. It says the Waseley Hills Country Park is 150 acres, a country park and local nature reserve owned and managed by the Worcestershire County Council, and says their countryside service. It consists of rolling open hills with hedgerows, pastures and small pockets of woodland with panoramic views over the Worcestershire, England. It is just southwest of Birmingham, close to the junction 4 of the M5 motorway, from which it is signposted the North Worcestershire Path and Illy Way long distance paths run through the park. The park contains the source of the River Ray. The hills form part of the watershed between the Ray Valley and that of the River Sorwarp, and thus between the catchments of the rivers Trent and Severn. According to the Worcestershire County Council, the elevation reaches a maximum of 998 feet, 304 metres. And looking down, it tells you about the name. I'll drop all this in the description. The name may be derived from the Waya sheep, if I said that right, and lay field, but the first element could be, it says there, weird settle, watch place, so it's known as a watch place, like an overlooking point of the area. And it says there, watch place along the northern boundary of the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of the Hawaiis, along with the Wast Hills in Alvechurch, Wasser Grove to the east of Witchbury Hill in Agley, and the Wasser Wood at the southern end of Shattersford Hill at Trimpley. So that's a bit of information, but I will drop some links in the description for you. But at the toposcope, it's really cool to see the views overlooking the certain areas. I was speaking to a subscriber, Adrian, give you a shout out, was talking about the Lappa Canal, talking about bits and pieces of views around the area. And the Lappa Canal is really interesting because if I just look down, you can just see, if I zoom in, the fields right there in the distance. The Lappa Canal used to run all the way from there through a tunnel under where the motorway was, then straight around to the corner where Selly Oak is, behind Franklin Beaches on the woodland. So it was pretty much a long tunnel. It does fall under a list of one of the longest tunnels. and Standedge being the first longest in the UK. But lots of information. The Black Country, you can imagine the Black Country holds lots of history, overlooking the views from there. And we're going to go and take a look at the River Ray when I get down in a little bit, because I've heard it's somewhere down in a dip down there, so we'll go and check it out. But one more pan around just to show you the views from this camera angle. I will do a bit of photos, bit of view look in a minute. But that is really cool, seeing the Licker Hills. I think that's Beacon Hill, somewhere off the back over that way. And you've got like a little castle dated to like something like 100-year-old. We'll be speaking to Adrian about that one, which is interesting. We'll go and check that out in the future. But let's get back to the camera and go and check out the views. So right, let's go back to the camera and have a zoom in one more time. I mean, you can just see the bottom of there from the fields at the bottom, got some houses. I'm guessing, like I said, them are the fields. If I put my camera down, you can just see further distance. The fields what I was just looking at were the bottom by Houseowen Abbey, next to Houseowen. You just see so far in the distance, it's showing back the haze. But it's so hazy, it's still blocking out sort of my views a little bit. But really cool seeing that. What I want to pan around and try and look at is that in the distance. I've just noticed that sticking right the way out. There's the Bond Wharf, that is basically West Bromwich. It's hazing out again, so if I just go back a little bit, there we go. That is actually the Bond Wharf in West Bromwich at the far back. Panning around, carefully pan this way. To see there's a church right there in the distance, you can see a cross, there's a church over there. Carefully pan this way a bit more, looking through. See a lot of flats, a lot of housing estates. If we try and get to Birmingham, you can just see some churches right there in the distance where the pylons are overlooking. Look how cool that site is. Panning around one more time. There's Birmingham town, zooming right away in, very carefully, you can just see it. Birmingham city centre, looking that way. There's the BT tower, so you can just see, you can get a bit of a better view at the moment from this angle. Panning around, you can just see bits more, you can see the towers over there. Really cool sight. I mean, from the distance here, I can't really see it with my eyes, I can just see buildings in the distance, but zooming in, look how cool that looks on the camera. There's Franklin Beaches one more time, look how cool that view is with the beech trees over there. Pan around, there's the other side of Birmingham city centre. Looking down, you can just see the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Look at the building right on the top of there, there's the Queen Elizabeth. Got Selly Oak somewhere on this corner, panning round, there we go. Got the little like tower, believe it's a university, I believe. Panning around one more time, we'll come back to some more areas now. Can just see some more parts, back end of Birmingham. You might see that industry in a minute, bear me one moment. And I was talking to Adrian and we was guessing that industry what I was looking at with the smoke coming out, if I can try and find it, is basically somewhere in Coventry. Looking right the way there. We was on about like the Jaguar Land Rover. Could be somewhere situated further back over this way. Looking at that. Industry, let's zoom out and look at this industry going away with all the smoke coming right the way out a chimney. Look at that, some really cool industry there. I love factories, I do, and that's why in Expo and the Black Country videos you may see that I do quite a lot of like things around factories sometimes. I just love them. Just imagine in the old days when the Black Country was even going, just imagine the views from here with all that smoke, all the smoke from the coal mines and the factories going all at once. It would look very dark in the distance, and then you get your red skies at night. It would be an amazing sight to see what it would have looked like back in those days. But amazing views from there. You can see Black Country, Birmingham, further over the distance over that way, which is really cool. So really cool to see those views from the toposcope here, and it's really cool to speak to Adrian. Yeah, one more look of the toposcope. Look at that. And usually like Baggeridge had a date onto the side of there, some of them do have dates. So let's go and take a look at the River Ray, which is right the way down the bottom. So it is a really beautiful sight this, and I can just see the back ends of like Longbridge, Cotteridge, Licker Hills. The views are just spectacular. I could just sit on this bit for hours and spend time looking at every bit of it separately. There's a bench there, we might go and sit down on the bench and have a little bit of a break. But wow, tell me that it's not beautiful seeing all the views looking from that corner. So what I'm going to do again one more time is just have another good couple of zooms in on different things with the camera. Put a bit of music on a bit of this bit now, so I won't talk over it, and we'll have a look at some more things on this corners, see what we can see. Feel free to comment what you know the place is if you want to in the comments. We'll have a look a bit over that way one more time. I'll just have a look at the motorway. There is a bridge over there and some more views of the Black Country. So here we are, this is the River Ray. I think this is believed this is the source, but there's a board telling us here. The River Ray rises here on the Waseley Hills and flows for some 50 miles northeast through Birmingham until it joins the River Tame near Spaghetti Junction. Although the River Ray is only a small river, it is being called the Mother of Birmingham as it has historically played an important part in the development of the city. Over 20 miles once flourished along the River Ray Valley. Many were built to grind corn and some date back to the 13th century. During the English Civil War, mills were used to make swords, blades for the parliamentary forces. The 19th century saw the same mills providing water for the expansion of the Birmingham's metalworking industry during the Industrial Revolution. Well, I didn't know there was actually quite a bit of information behind there, but you can just see the journey of the River Ray from the Waseley Hills Country Park. You've got Callow Brook onto the corner, leading all the way down through there. Look at that, it goes through Cotteridge. I think I've seen that from up the view. Selly Oak, Sturchley, all the way up. Really quite a big river that. Some churches, St Martin's. It says there if you look north east towards the city centre, you can follow the line of the River Ray Valley. It is possible to walk or cycle along it for some miles beyond Cannon Hill Park. However, the Ray flows in a deeper culvert, protection against serious flooding in the past. It says there the Ray Valley Conservation Group was formed in 1988 with the aim of conserving wildlife and improving the environment along this green corridor by removing litter and planting trees and shrubs. I'm guessing this is a source. I can just see a water boatman down there. It's like a little insect. You do get quite a lot of boatmans and pools. There he is. If I can zoom in, you might just see it. It's like a little dot water boatman right there, just floating across the water. Really cool seeing that, and this is actually a source for it, I believe. A little like stream. You can see something there. There's like a flow running through somewhere. So just looking at that, what I'm going to do now is basically head back to the way I come from. If you want me to return here, I definitely will come on the bike and we'll have a look at more features over here. But it is a brilliant place. It's a nice place to come for a walk. The views are spectacular over this way and I've loved seeing the history of that and also the views. Let's go and have a walk out and then we'll go back to the way we actually come from. But that is definitely going to be a future video. I'm definitely going to come and check that out, because I believe it goes all around the corners, leads all that way. It is a quicker way to get to Frankley beaches from that way, I believe, or from going away from the fields where I was earlier. But listen to the wildlife, look how much wildlife there is. There's so much wildlife down this way. There's even a blackbird in there trying to get worms. We had to see it through the fence. Great place, especially with the camera what I've got, if you could try and spot it. So that's it for the place, just come right the way out. Back out the way I just come in. But we've got to go back now over the motorway, then back to that public footpath from where I come from. And that public footpath is also another nice route, because it goes all the way to the bottom where Darby Dell is, through the Pennyfields woodland, and then from there you can walk all the way to Halzone Abbey. I'm not going that route because it is really muddy down there, especially like today. I've noticed there's quite a lot of mud around, and by Darby Dell the mud is really bad at certain times. But as you see, going back over the motorway section, you can just see the motorway from this corner now. Another look of it, right the way there. Pretty cool. Back up that road. So here we are, back up Newtown Lane. There's a sticker on there, Monarch's Way. Back up this way. And I believe that way says there, Romsley Parish Council. Goes into Romsley in the back end, longer that way to go round. But we want to go up here, back with that footpath. Oh, and I forgot to mention, when I was talking about that telegraph pole earlier, there was a fox that came out for the footpath just after me. If I was seconds after that, I would have seen the fox on the video. Really cool. So there's definitely quite a lot of wildlife up this way. You do get quite lots of it. But I believe this way actually goes to Frankley, so if you kept walking it, it will take you to Frankley beaches, and it will go under the motorway, under that road that I was on about. So that's one place I'm going to do within the near future. I'm going to go back to Frankley beaches from the paths from up here, right back on the Monarch's Way. Alright, here we go. And if you do want to walk to Waseley Hills from Romsley, you've just got to follow this Monarch's Way footpath, or the Worcestershire path that goes outside the Swallows Nest pub. There we go, Monarch's Way. Get back over this. It's really quite tall up actually, this one is. It is quite hard to get your legs over it. You can just see, kind of struggling. I wish it was easier. There we go. And then you can just see the beautiful views from this section. You can just see some of the views what I've seen from the Waseley Hills over the back, Birmingham, parts of the Black Country on these fields. So this is actually another good viewpoint from here. So that's about it for the video today. Hope you've enjoyed it. I just wanted to come and see what Waseley Hills was actually like. What do you think of the views? What do you think of the landscape altogether? Drop it in the comments. I mean, it's definitely worth going up there just to check out the toposcope and the views. That's what it's mainly all about, the views and the distance on the hills. There isn't too much history on the place. I couldn't find much of it. I spoke to Adrian as well, one of my subscribers, and even he said that he doesn't know much history around it. Maybe if many of you know about Waseley Hills, the history, then drop it in the comments. We will be interested to know. But I'm now going to journey all the way back for the way I come, past Dayhouse Bank Farm, all the way up to the top of Romsley, down to Halzone, might catch number 9 back to the Starbridge Road and up, and back home. But drop a like for me coming this far. I've come quite a bit of a distance actually. My foot's killing me. I just want to get home and rest. So see you soon, and see you in the next one.